doing tonight?
Great.
Beautiful weather?
Yeah.
You really picked a time for seasons of change. Yeah, somehow the weather just knew. All right. Well, as Carla said, my name's Caleb McFarland. You might recognize me from doing performances up on the Main Street Theater. I usually play very large, larger-than-life characters, obviously, because, well, let's admit it, I'm no lightweight. And when Margie asked me to come up and come to speak at this and tell them the seasons have changed, something that's changed you, I could only think of two really big things in my life that have changed me significantly, and I'm going to talk about one. You want to talk to me about the other one, come find me later. But and what I talk about, it might include a little bit of audience participation. So are you up for that? Yes, the excitement is palpable. Wonderful. All right. Well, the first thing that really changed me, you can talk to me later, is my faith, which I was born again when I was 16. So if you want to talk to me about that, that'll be fantastic later. But another thing, quite obviously, is when I first got into theater, acting, performing. Unlike other people who've been up here, I was born here.
Boo this man.
No, but well, technically it's a Salem hospital. It's the same county. But when I was born with something that at the time was commonly referred to as Asperger's syndrome. Now that is a high-functioning form of autism, which nowadays they found out is something called neurodivergence, which is on a whole spectrum and you can't define it anymore. Don't try to, I've tried. But the thing is, what it really means is my brain was... I'm glad the fire's not the only thing cracking up today. My brain works differently than the common average person. Like, for example, how many people here have a light interest in some kind of sport? Right? Can I get a raise of hands? See, who here likes football? Who loves football here? Yeah, wonderful. Okay, and the feeling you get when you watch a game and you're excited when your team is either getting the ball to the other side or the other team's getting it and you're raging at them. Take that emotion and multiply it by 16. We don't just like what we like, we become obsessed with it. Because of this, I am a useless encyclopedia of multiple different fashions. When I was a kid, I liked dinosaurs, so I know what a neuropachyologist is, okay? It's one of the smaller ones, so don't worry about it. You won't see it in the movies. I got to like comic books as a kid, so now I know the middle name of several different superheroes. I like watching giant monster movies as a film, so I know the set producers, the directors of the films, the whole shebang. That's just how it goes. And because of this, because we have these extreme interests in these different things, our mind just stores the information and we become a little obsessive over it. And because of that, when there's other kids growing up and you go between elementary school and middle school and what you like changes 1,500 different times, you kind of feel like you get left behind because all of a sudden this thing that you and your friends all loved is just the past and you get left there. And because of that, I developed an idea about myself that I had to act like I was a lot simpler than I was just so I would be pitied rather than bullied. Because I honestly would have rather to have been left alone with what I liked rather than being ridiculed for it. And that had a pretty big effect on me when I was a kid. Then years went by. My dad passed away in 2005, and my mother decided that me and my sister really definitely needed a change after everything that had happened. So in 2007, we moved down to Virginia, in Virginia Beach. And let me tell you, that was a cultural shock. I mean, I was going to Crestview Elementary Middle School, where you have about, let's say 400 kids usually. I went to this high school down called Bayside, and I had 1,000 in my graduating class. I tell you, yeah, graduation day was a bore. By the time they got to the ends, I was half asleep. It's like, okay. It was so long, the valedictorian speech was like, okay, everybody do something good with your lives. That's lunch. But when I got down there, I definitely felt like it was a chance for me to reinvent myself because, new surroundings, new people, it was the suburbs. And I started to, and unfortunately, it wasn't around the best kind of crowd. I never got in trouble, but it was definitely affecting my personality to the point where I was starting to grieve my family. And when I finally discovered that, I knew I needed to do something different. And to help with that, my mom decided that it would be good for me to try some extracurricular activities at school. So, you get into a group with different people and try new things. And one thing she pointed out to do was a drama club. And at first I was a little apprehensive about it, but she said, Caleb, just give it a try. If you don't like it, you don't have to go. And I said, Mom, first day they asked me to wear tights, I'm out. I'm not built for it. But anyway, it was this after-school activity. It would meet on Wednesdays, and there was this wonderful gentleman by the name of Mr. James Whiting, and he was rather new in there. And he really helped me understand what it was. Because the thing is, you think it's just a game at first, acting, performing. It's playing pretend. That's what you basically do. It's like when you're a kid. But I saw it as an opportunity to be someone else. That way I wouldn't have to be burdened with who I am and what I do and how I go about things. And a lot of the times I did that. I did a few plays there, I did a few shows. But there's only so far that you not being you can take you. That sounded a lot deeper when I first wrote it down. But our theater teacher, Mr. Whiting, he noticed it in me, and he said, Caleb, I love what you do. You have brilliant energy. You bring a lot to it, but I feel like there's something a little artificial to it. And I said, what are you talking about? He said, well, acting is pretending, but it's not pretending to be someone else as much as it is trying to find yourself in someone else. Because the thing is, in an honest performance, in whatever you see, it's a part of themselves that they have to use to make the character feel honest, to make them feel real. When I started doing that, I found that I could recognize different parts of who I was, because with what I had going on, I couldn't express myself properly. I couldn't talk to people about what I felt on different things because I grew up too afraid of everyone being bogged down with everything that I do and everything that I am, and how excessive I can be about it. But with these different characters I would get to play, I had a chance to exercise that. And I was able to find different ways to find out who I was. And the pain that I started to lock away when I was a little kid, I was actually able to, almost like pulling out like an old drawer that you locked away with thousands of things that you just put in there, like an old junk drawer. And I was able to sort through the different things and the different objects and stuff like that. And because of that, the big thing that acting did for me is it changed my perception of myself. Because I love doing these shows, I love performing as these characters, but I'm not just some character somebody wrote down. And I found out that with what I can do and how I can express things now, I make very, very deep connections with people. My mom said, I don't make friends, I just go around adopting new members of the family. And because of that, I have an entire group of friends that I've been able to keep a consistent, close, and empathetic relationship from thousands of miles away. And the bravery that gave me when I moved back up here, I like to think that it influenced how people seem to see me and the reputation that I've built here with a lot of people. And that's probably one of the most important things in my life. And it is why I continue to perform on stage, in front of a camera, just acting like a goofball up here in front of you people right now. It's a little bit of joy that you can share with people. It's a little bit of message you can share with people. but in turn they end up sharing a lot with you, and I want to thank you all very much today.